Okay guys, this is the last refrigerator math video. Again, this last video is integer operations again. We talked about the definition of integers. It's the whole numbers and their opposites. It's the positive and negative numbers as you call it, but we call those numbers the integers. In the last video I talked about multiplication and division. I'm going to talk a little bit about addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction doesn't really have a set rules. There's a lot of ways to remember it. It can be done a whole lot of different ways. I'm going to talk about the number line. I'm also going to post Khan Academy videos for you to watch and some other things like that that might help you out. It's good to go back and review. I'm going to say right now the number one mistake made in middle school math is what we're talking about right here, adding and subtracting integers. This is where most of the mistakes are made. It is one of the skills that we really need to perfect to have a better understanding of what we're doing. And when we get into some higher level math problems, especially when you get into algebra, understanding the adding and subtracting of integers is vitally important. So I want you to kind of watch how I talk about it, to be very brief. This should actually help you a little bit with the problems I'm going to give you, but I would like it if you watch the other videos also. The way I talk about adding and subtracting is basically moving on the number line. And what I mean by this, let's take a simple addition problem that would be easy for us to do. Let's say we had 4 plus 1, okay? We had 4 plus 1 equals. Now, that's a positive 4 plus a positive 1. Basically, what you're doing is you're going on the number line and you're starting at the position of that first number, which would be 4. We're adding a positive. Adding means we're going to the right. A positive means we're adding a number positive to the right. So we're adding 4 plus a positive 1. So plus means we're going to the right, and because it's positive, it goes to the right. So positive 1 puts us at 5. So 4 plus 1 equals 5. Pretty simple. That's a simple one we know. You don't really have to think about the number line, but that's how it works. But I'm going to change that a little bit, and I'm going to change my numbers up, and I'm going to show you. So we have 4 plus a negative 1. Well, the way that works, we're starting in the same place on our number line. We're starting at 4. I'm adding, which means we're thinking about moving to the right because we're adding, but because we're adding a negative, we're going to go the other way. Okay, so we're at 4. We're going to add, which we think we're going to the right, but because we're adding a negative number, we actually are going back to the left. So the symbol, when it's addition, we're going to the right, but the sign changes it and makes it go back to the left. So 4 plus a negative 1 gives us 3. So that's the same as taking 1 away. Let's look at a subtraction problem really quickly. All right, let me fix my number line real quick. Okay, let's look at this from a subtraction standpoint. Let's say I'm at 2, and I want to take away 2. Well, that's easy. That's a positive 2. Take away a positive 2. Well, because I'm on 2. I'm going to take away, which means I'm going to the left, and I'm taking away a positive 2, which means I don't change my direction. So 2, take away 2, puts me at 0. And that's pretty simple. We understand that. But that's how adding and subtracting works on the number line. If you understand that, it can help you with integers. Now I'm going to change things up. I'm going to say 2 take away a negative 2. So I'm starting in the same place. I'm starting at a positive 2. I'm taking away, which means I would be going to the left, but because I'm taking away a negative, I have to change my direction. So that means I go to the right because I'm taking away, but because it's a negative, it makes me go in the other direction. 2 take away a negative 2 gives me 4. Now, this can be kind of confusing, okay? Working with the negatives and where we start. I'm going to do one more example. So let's say I have a negative 5, okay? and I'm going to add a positive 3. Okay? Now, maybe I want you to pause the video for a second and think about what you're going to get. Some of you may have another way to do this, but pause for a second and try to figure it out, see what you get. Okay, you're probably back from trying yourself. So doing it my way, just for understanding, we're starting at -5. Okay, so that's where we're starting on the number line at -5. I want to add, which means we're going to the right. I want to add 3. And I'm adding a positive 3, which means I don't change my direction. So I'm going to add 3. 1, 2, 3. That puts me at -2. So a -5 plus a positive 3 gives me a -2. So that's just one way to look at it. I'm going to give you some Khan Academy videos with some other explanations. This is very important to review, very important to understand. You can come back to this video, send me questions if you need to. I'll talk to you guys later.